Happy Saturday, everybody. I'm Al Korelin. My buddy Trader Raj is with me right now. We are starting a new deal, as your favorite president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, used to say. And our new deal is we are going to do a weekend editorial in a video format starting this weekend. We'll do it every Saturday and talk about a subject that we find to be of interest. You guys may not like it at all, but we find it to be very, very interesting. And the one that came up this morning, Saturday morning specifically, that I thought was really interesting is there are a number of investments surfacing out there that are being brought out for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is they're providing an alternative to any type of investment that has its basis in Europe. These investments are called esoteric bonds. Very, very interesting. Described rather accurately, I would have to say, in the Wall Street Journal in the weekend edition. These bonds pay a little over 6%. They are rated as low as they can be and still be investment grade. I think they're a little silly, to say the least. For the one that the Journal highlighted had to do with a bond put out by Miramax Films that was based on the revenues from three specific movies, two of them being Pulp Fiction and the other one being The English Patient. The third one actually was Good Will Hunting. I find that to be a bit of a stretch, and I'm wondering why anybody would invest in a bond that was rated that low, and just because it paid 6%, because there are other, I think, much safer investments out there. Raj, what do you think, buddy?
Well, historically, there's been a lot of junk bonds available of varying grades. Some of them, as recently as a few months ago, were paying as high as 12 or 15%. And when they return that kind of investment, it's obvious that the danger is high that you may not get your money back. Yes, the yield is high, but return of principal is primary. I think that the reason these things are coming about is simply because of the fact that some of the mainstream investments, like European bonds, French bonds, bonds from some of the other smaller European countries, have either been in failure mode or are on that road. Even some of the better rated bonds, like the bonds of the French government, which historically have been AAA, are now starting to get some wider spreads on yield simply because people are fearful. The biggest bond, or rather I should say the premium bond in Europe, is still the German Bund, B-U-N-D, which is considered to be the best of the best, but even that one probably is going to have some rating coming and being attached to it. We noticed also in the Journal the last couple of days that Mexican bonds got a warning in the Wall Street Journal saying that you may not be able to get all your principal back necessarily if there is a failure in a bond that you purchase in Mexico. We're not picking on Mexico. That kind of a situation is common in some other places too. But what this is, to my thinking, is it's a race to the bottom to get yield. There's no places to go with money. There's so much cash and so few investments that are any good. So what we're seeing now is a lot of these crazy ideas that are coming out. And believe it or not, with all this cash, some of these people are going to go out and buy this stuff. I made the point a few minutes ago, prior discussion, that gold, the last 10 years, has returned 15% or better. So, where do you want to be?
What I think is really interesting about this whole thing, Raj, is that the mainstream, for lack of better terms, feels that in terms of an investment that really represents a stretch, gold and silver really represent a stretch. Well, I would have to ask those people, if you take a hard asset like gold or silver that has been a solid investment for thousands of years and compare it to a bond that's based on revenues from three films, that, in my opinion, is a huge stretch, and I really have to wonder why somebody would do something like that. Now, you know what Raj and I think. What do you think?